And a good morning, or God o'clock, 4:45 a.m. Have a brain tumour, you'll slur and you won't sleep. Right, so today we're going to look at the Aquatico Pilot 1. Now I'm fairly certain that you can see everything that I can see, simply because I've made sure that I've placed the camera lens at the right angle. Now there is a bit of history with regards to the design of the watch, etc., but I have to stay out of politics, and I will do that now. I will simply base my review on the watch and the watch in hand. So the watch in hand is, as I've said, the Aquatico Pilot 1 300 meter. It's a classic diver's watch. I'm getting dirty hands on it. I don't know why I do it, but there I just did it. It's actually made it cleaner than my jumper. It says a lot for my washing. Anyway, let's get the basics out. Let's get the tech specs. 316L steel, pretty much standard. It is needed with something like this because, quite frankly, anything lower it's going to corrode in about 10 days. There are alternatives. You can have the 316F. A lot of people don't know about that because they don't really need to know. There's very little difference. I've done so much research on metals and metallurgy, but quite frankly I am confident that there's only one or two grades of steel that we really need to bother ourselves about. So then other tech specs, well, we've got sapphire crystal AR coating inside, which, if my memory serves me right, it serves several purposes, including demisting or preventing misting of the watch. It's 300 meters water resistant. Do I believe that? I don't know. I've tested it in quite deep waters, but no, I haven't been to 300 meters. I would suggest to err on the side of caution and scuba dive to a certain degree, perhaps 200 meters at the most. But that's not saying it can't do the 300 meters. It may well do. I'm giving an opinion based on observation. I'm looking at the watch. I've got it in my hand. I'm turning it around for you to have a look to make sure that you can actually see. It's got it's got a mermaid on the back, if you can see. I'm not sure whether you can. I'll try and sneak in a little bit more. So that's a nice touch. Again, I can't and I won't get into the politics of the design, who did it, who didn't. Really isn't of my interest. Well, no, I say that it isn't any of my business. Now, back to the watch in hand and the tech spec. You have the isoframe rubber strap. The case size is 44mm by 54 by 16. It's got a bracelet size of 22 to 24. Well, quite frankly, that fits on my wrist and I'm a chunky old chap. So, to the movement, and this is the all important. Now, all you hear about is Seiko, but they must be bloody good because, quite frankly, well, they are good. Let's be honest about it. I just don't like the overhype on times. That's just me. This actually has a Seiko movement in it, the NH38A. It's an absolutely fantastic caliber. 24 joules, 21,600 vibrations per hour for all you tech specs. Has a shock system, power reserve of 41 hours. I don't believe that for a second. I think it would probably do about 39. It's been compared on different forums with Myotas, etc. There's never been a question with regards to this particular caliber. Now, to me, I'm not going to go into depth with regards to hacking and so on, because you're complicating the uncomplicated. 95% of watch users don't give a damn about what's inside the watch. It's only the real connoisseurs, the watch enthusiasts that really want to pay attention to the insides, that would do so. So based on that, we've got the simple hour, minute and central seconds functions on this. There's no day data or anything like that. I don't think you need to know what day. You should actually know what day it is when you dive in anyway. It has the little features of, I believe it's a gasket screw down crown. I'm looking and loving, and I have to say this is something I found rather cheeky but stunning with the design. If you look, you've got the hex nuts on the corners. Now it's like a layer cake. You've got two square layers, and then you've got the circular body of the watch. And I think that you've got with the pillars then combined, which hold the screws. I think that's an absolutely amazing design. Again, I'm going to stay 100 miles away from debating who did what, who designed what. Quite frankly, whoever it was a genius. Aquatico are the ones who released it, and therefore they've done it legally, and I have to give them the credit. So, back to the watch. It is absolutely stunning for what it is. It's probably one of the only diver watches that I could wear and get away with a dress watch because I'm such a chunky fella. Now, I don't do the wrist checks of the day, really. I think that's a catchphrase of other people. I think I've got a Casio edifice on or something random like that. But if you look at it, because I do have quite a powerful arm, it works. But you can see it's a heavy piece. I haven't weighed it, but I could say that it's close to 12 to 14 ounces easy. And it's a hefty piece, but that's what you can expect. It's incredibly well milled, I will say that, and I do know about milling, etc. The one thing I had was a dad that was pretty much in the metal industry for an awful long time, and I've done a lot of tours of factory floors with the CNCs. That's the computer machines that make these. So without waffling anymore, it's got my little pet OCD of Aquatico on the buckle, so it's ticking that box as well. Same on the crown. I do like the fact that you can have the screw release. That to me is a no-brainer for changing. I hate fiddly little things when you're trying to get the pins out. Mine happen to have super powerful springs and bounce about 9 miles away from where I am. So let's put this one down for a second. We're happy with that. I would recommend that for a Christmas present. You must hurry. They are selling out. Now, they've come out with another model, and I have to say I'm equally impressed, but I'm not going to review this today. I'm keeping this short and sweet, not because of a certain person who made a rather pathetic jibe about me taking an hour with the video. Well, actually it was 20 minutes and some seconds. I'll take as long as I wish if it gets the points across. You need to be informed. So we'll quickly jump on to the sterling. Yes, the good old sterling, the cheap Chinese shitter, as some clown said to me on the YouTube channel. Well, don't you realize you're actually wasting your time? Because one, I've got a delete button, and secondly, you're absolutely wrong. I do concede that sterling at one time, and perhaps still do have in stock, watches with Chinese movements. Now, I'm not racist. I'm somebody that will subscribe to the Asian market and see how well the Chinese are doing. I've got a fantastic network of chief executives and presidents that run many of the larger enterprises in China. But what a lot of you haven't bothered doing is your homework. And your homework would have told you that sterling actually use Ronda movements and citizen movements. They use an awful lot of the best movements for the level entries they wish to be in that you're going to get. So we won't necessarily review that today, but we are going to review these quite often because I really think they're a brand that will challenge most. I'll just do a little bit of fiddling about with this watch, it's so weighty, it's fun, I love it, absolutely love it. Right, so very quickly on to what the next plan is. I think I'll probably do a little review on my Paddy limited edition or special edition, because I don't believe that the Seiko reviews that have come out have qualified them well enough. And that's not a criticism, it's just an observation, so don't beat me up for it. It's not a criticism. I think that the more people that get to review the watches, especially popular brands like Seiko, the better informed the buyer will be. I don't believe that there's a competition or should be a competition in watch reviewing. I'm certainly not benefiting in any shape or form from giving a review on a $5 watch to a $5 million watch. There's nothing in it for me except the warm fuzzy feeling that Just About Watches Legacy is providing information, providing honest reviews, and I can tell you, if I found anything wrong with this, I would have told you. Got no vested interest in lying. The same will actually be with the Seiko. You'll have to excuse me, I'm going to put a little caveat in. For those who don't know, you haven't gone to the files, Kev has a brain tumour, and my brain tumour needs medication, and the trouble with that, it will make me slur and miss my words now and again. Please don't beat me up for that, but that would be cruel, okay? A few people have actually done that. I should name and shame, and maybe I will at a later date. At this moment in time, I'll just simply say to the person in question, no, I'm not a lunatic. I'm somebody with a brain tumour. Who's the sickest? So, with the Sterlings, I'm going to give one away every week up until Christmas. It may not be one of these mini divers. I don't know. I haven't decided. It may be a far higher level. It probably will. I won't be just male chauvinistic. I really think little attention has been paid to ladies and watches, and therefore there's a high likelihood that I'll dissect my prize giving to ladies' watches as well. And working with Sterling, who are an absolutely incredible company, and I have to say that, you have to admire them for learning, for the evolution of what they're doing. I would have said no I wouldn't have, but I would have understood to a degree when somebody comes out with a racist slant such as cheap Chinese shitters, if I was ignorant, because at times I have seen Sterling and they weren't that strong, so they were flawed. But now they actually have really risen their game. The watches are of different levels, and I can tell you even watches like this, and I'm not going to review it just yet, that will stand up to any well-known brand in its price range, and that's a fact whether you like it or not. So we'll look at that at another time. So just like an advent calendar, I'm going to give a watch away each week up until Christmas. I may give more. That'll be my choice for our members. To do that, you have to obviously subscribe, you have to share and like. Sharing is caring. Don't forget that Just About Watches is about a brain tumour sufferer who's decided to set up his own collection as a legacy. And to use social media to do so was a little fun and a little clever. I didn't think it was quite so vile and an arena for such bullying. But quite frankly, I always justify that by thinking, well, do you know, I either feel sorry for these people who would never dare say anything to my face, or they have sad lives, or perhaps they have a vested interest in discrediting genuine people. It won't stop just about watches. We will grow. We are growing. And testimony to that is the fact that we will always give to the members. It's the members who will benefit, never the admin. I will not go into the politics of Facebook and how vile it is tonight. Safe to say that I made a commentary earlier on and I was told expletives. Okay, well done admin. You really do the world of horology good. I've been victim of that mind, I can tell you, but let's ignore that aspect. Let's go to the fact that we should all be sharing in the same passion. I don't know why we don't share one group, but there are people who like isolated brands, and I do fully support that. Just About Watches isn't that though. Just About Watches is about calm, peaceful equality within the watch fraternity, and in the meantime raising awareness, because believe it or not, this has given me opportunity to sell to the world the need for brain tumour and cancer research, and that's what Just About Watches is all about. So enough for me. I've reviewed the watch. I'm going to review the paddy next. That'll be in a few days, perhaps a week, and then I'm going to review the sterlings, I beg your pardon, with a view to deciding which ones I'm going to give away. So please subscribe, please like, please share. Don't be cruel to brain tumour sufferers like some have. We are not in competition with you. We don't disrespect you. Please show some etiquette and respect us. I bid you a good evening, good afternoon, good night, wherever you are in the world. Safe health. Good night.